Hey guys, welcome to Glen. My name's Glenn and this is my cryptocurrency journey, and I'm trying to vlog the whole thing for you guys to see so that you can follow my highs, lows, mistakes, wins, and hopefully that will help you with your cryptocurrency journey. And also I would like to think that obviously once I build up a community of people that you'll be able to help me, which so far has been happening, so I've been really happy with that. And so thank you to everyone who's watching, but welcome if you are a new viewer, and I highly suggest you subscribe to this channel. Obviously I'm going to say that. You can click the little coin that's down here to subscribe to my channel, or click down below if you want to see my journey going forward into the cryptocurrency space. So today I wanted to talk about Envion tokens, more specifically their value. Also I wanted to talk about hydrominer. A lot of you have been commenting saying, Glenn, check out hydrominer, and what do you think about hydrominer? And to be honest, I'd never heard of them and I'd never looked into it. So I've actually spent this morning reading about them, and I thought I'd give you my thoughts on that. I'll show you my hashflare account, and also some other conversations that I've been having and thoughts that I've got in my head going on. So let's start off with it. Let's have a little look at what the markets are doing today, because we all like seeing the markets, don't we? Don't we, children? Whee! So Bitcoin is still stagnating, which I think is a good thing at this point in time. Bitcoin had such a massive increase, especially the end of last year, in price, that it was quite easy, and even I did, if you watch back my videos, to keep saying, oh yeah, next thing is going to be 25,000, then 30,000 and 40,000. But actually it's reached a high. It's dipped down a bit. It got down to about 12, 11,000, and it's sort of stagnated around there, and it goes up and down. Goes up to 12 grand, then it drops back down to 10.5, then it goes up to 12 grand, then back down to about 10.5, something like that. So that's where we're hovering around at the minute, the 11,000 mark per Bitcoin. Ethereum, that just doubled in price one day, and a lot of that's down to how popular at the moment ICOs are to get involved in. So a lot of people are trying to get involved with ICOs for big gains, and a lot of the ICOs actually are split offs from the Ethereum blockchain, and obviously they accept Ethereum as their main form of payment. So a lot of people are buying Ethereum to then give it to the ICOs, but obviously therefore the price of Ethereum has really shot up. So Ethereum has almost, well, I say almost, it's more than doubled what it was worth, I'd say, at the end of last year. I think the high last year was about $770, but then it dropped back down to about 600, and then about a week ago it went up to sort of 1,200, but now it's been hovering around the $1,000 mark. So that seems to be where that's at, especially over the last week. It sort of stayed around that mark. Ripple's gone down a bit. It's down to 136. It was 150, I believe, yesterday. Bitcoin Cash is at 1,600, which at one point that was worth 2,500, but as we know they've all gone down. So I think that's a fair price for Bitcoin Cash at the moment. A lot of people say that that's eventually going to catch up with Bitcoin, because it's a cheaper and quicker form of payment, but that's, from my understanding, that's because not as many people use it, but a lot of places are starting to accept it now. So if a lot of, if everyone accepted Bitcoin Cash, it would have the same issues that Bitcoin currently have, because it runs off exactly the same protocols as Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is currently having the Lightning Network tested a lot now, and apparently the adoption levels going up. So a lot more people were getting the Lightning Network, and also SegWit, which apparently Lightning Network needs to happen. It needs SegWit update to be on the blockchain first, because even though Lightning Network is faster and it's pretty much no fees to send money from one person to another, it's more open to attacks, whereas the SegWit update would resolve them issues for them. So they really, the process we need to happen is SegWit gets adopted by everyone, and then the Lightning Network gets put on top of that. Then we would have safe, fast, cheap transactions with Bitcoin, therefore making Bitcoin Cash really a bit irrelevant. But that's my opinion. So some people might really like Bitcoin Cash, I don't know. Cardano, again, it's at 56 cents, which is down a bit, but only by a small part. Litecoin is at $178. Obviously, that was worth a lot more at the end of last year as well. I believe Litecoin should be in the top 3 cryptocurrencies. That's just my opinion. I feel that it does everything that we want Bitcoin to do now, so I can't see why that isn't worth 250. Doesn't sound too drastic. A lot of people are saying it's going to be worth 500 one day, but I think 250 is where it should be at, and it should be sort of knocking on at least 3rd place. So if you work out the 52 billion there, divided by how many coins Litecoin have, you'll work out how much that should be worth, I suppose. But that's my opinion. The other one I want to mention is EOS. So I didn't realise EOS is actually a Ethereum token. It's not actually a coin itself. I didn't know that. I thought I assumed all these sort of like top ones on this list here were all coins. But it's not. It's actually a token. So if you don't know what I mean by that, you've got actual coins, so like an online currency that can be used and can be split and sent to people with wallets and stuff like that. Tokens means that you not own, but you have like a stake in that procedure or company or profits or you have a token in it. So obviously when the Envion token gets released, it will be in the same sort of realms as all the other tokens, not so much coins, if you like, because it's with the Envion token, it's not saying I'll be able to send someone as a form of currency and they could put it in their wallet, which I know they probably could in a backwards way, but it's actually a thing that you want to hold on to, and if someone wants to buy it off you, you can send it to them. I don't know if I'm making sense there. Hopefully I am. Let's have a little look at the top 100 tokens. So you can see EOS is number 1. It's off the Ethereum chain with a price of $13 per token. And the circulating supply there is 623 million tokens. And then you've got Tron, Icon, Populous. But I wanted to get back on that because I want to talk about the price of Envion tokens, my predictions anyway, going forward, which is always a risky thing to do, especially on YouTube. It's easy to just send a mate a text or, say like, oh yeah, I think it's going to be worth that much. But you say it on YouTube, it's recorded, there's always a history of it, so that one day if the price goes up or down, someone can quite easily message you and say, "Here, Glenn, what happened with this? I thought you said it was going to be worth this much." So there's always accountability. But I just wanted to give my honest opinion because that's what I do on this channel. I give you my honest opinion. So we'll come back and touch on that. So as it stands at the minute with Envion, they have stated that it's going to be available, the tokens are going to be available on HitBTC. I thought it was tomorrow, but someone commented on the Facebook group that I'm a part of saying that they may be available today. So I'm not too sure there. So I'm just going to go with my assumption that it's going to be either tomorrow or Friday. And we'll see what happens there, see what they go on at. My tokens currently are still locked, so my verification process was successful. You can see down here, so my ID was approved and everything, but my tokens are still locked. And they did send out so they said they're going to work through and get everyone's tokens verified and unlocked so that we can transfer them from wallet to wallet and also obviously to exchanges if we want to. And they did state that They would rather spend a longer time on this process and get it right than rush it and do something wrong, which could affect them later down the line and affect us. So I don't mind. They can take their time with it. I'm not too fussed. When it'll be ready, it'll be ready. So I'll come back to the price of Envion at the minute, my predictions later on in the video, because I want to just get some other things off my chest first. Hashflare. A lot of you messaged me saying, Glenn, change your bloody pools and change the settings on it. I had a play about with it, and one of you sent me a spreadsheet. I believe it was Anton. He sent me a really useful email with a spreadsheet on it. The link to that spreadsheet, if you go back to my video about hashflare fees, he commented down below that, I believe, saying this is the link to my spreadsheet and you can download it. And he put on there that the ant pool had the best returns on sort of every day. And then someone else commented saying change it to ant pool. So I thought, God, if everyone's telling me to, why not? You guys are helping me out. So now I'm at 100% ant pool. So hopefully I get a better return and it keeps you guys happy. So all I have to say is really that the last 2 days actually, because I changed it a couple of days ago, hasn't really gone up. So I'm earning exactly the same amount of money in terms of Bitcoin. I didn't actually know what this little line was. I understood what these bars were because that's how much Bitcoin you're mining every day, but I never knew what the bar was. But then I realised when I hovered over it today, it actually shows you just what you've got in your balance. So obviously every time I reinvested, it's gone down. When I've not reinvested, it's gone up, then down, and then obviously it's going up and up and up and up because I haven't reinvested for the last, it must be a week now. So this is my balance, which equates to about $150 worth of Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm waiting for the price to go up. I just wanted to say actually that it seemed like in my video I was hating on hashflare. I wasn't. It was just I was trying to explain the way that their fees and the way they take their fees works and how it seems like, because there was a lot of people commenting saying, yeah, hashflare fees are 20%, mine are 25%, mine are 18%. Obviously, I worked out to be 15%. Then I realised I was being charged 28% the other day. So I was trying to get it clear in my head, and I thought, well, if I'm thinking like this, there must be other people out there thinking the same. So I just wanted to clear it up, and hopefully I did that right. I know I'm not the best at explaining things, but hopefully I explained it in a way that you guys can understand and realise. And that's all I was trying to do. I weren't trying to hate on hashflare. They actually posted on their Twitter and Instagram their new ASIC miners that they're putting in. Now, I don't know if you guys know, if you've watched my older videos, hashflare, they are actually owned by a company called Hashcoin, and Hashcoin make ASIC miners. So a bit like Bitmain, obviously they make the Antminer S9. Hashcoin make their own ASIC miners, and they made a business decision not to sell them to businesses or public. They just make them for themselves and they mine for themselves. And obviously they have the cloud mining service, which is a part of their business. Well, a lot of people say, how can they keep offering Bitcoin mining? Why are they not sold out yet? Whereas they are sold out of, is it Zcash or something like that? But they posted these pictures which were pretty impressive, building up the hash rate. And you can see here how many ASIC miners they've got. Now that's one row. So sadly, I sat there and counted. So you've got 3 across, I think 14 down. So it works out something like, I don't know, 50 machines in each section. Times that by 3, got 150. If you times that by, say they're getting them running at 12 terahashes per second, it quite quickly adds up to sort of, thousands of terahash, and that was that photo. And then when you look at this one, you can see they've literally just got rows and rows of them. very impressive. Big show of strength there. I wish hashflare showed more things like this, or did a video or something like that, because obviously one of the biggest criticisms of hashflare is how have they got this much power. But if these images are correct, then you can see, I mean, I don't know how far back this building goes or how many of these buildings they've got, but that is a lot of hash power in a room. And they're making them themselves as well, so we don't know how fast they are. We can only assume that they're either on par or, you know, maybe not as efficient as the Antminer S9. So I'm going to say between 10 and 12 terahashes, but who knows, they might be even faster. So I actually commented on this saying, please, more photos like this, just because it really builds that confidence of, you know, how much hash power they've got to share. And obviously, because they're building them themselves and only selling them to themselves, or not even selling them, but you can understand why they can offer mining contracts at such a lower rate. Their electricity costs, on the other hand, I don't know all that sort of side of it. They are based in, where was it, Estonia. So I don't know what sort of electricity costs they have, and also what their government's like on Bitcoin mining, but hopefully they won't clamp it down anytime soon. But I just thought that was really interesting, guys. Sort of the show of how much power they've actually got. So I'm just waiting really for Bitcoin to go up in price, so that obviously my $150 there, say it goes back up to 15,000, 16,000 per Bitcoin. Obviously that really is going to equate to probably 250, 300, something like that, you know, and therefore I'd be able to buy a lot more hash rate than as if I was just reinvesting every day. That's my theory. Let me know if you think that I'm talking out of my arse, or if you think that is the right way forward. But I'm really happy with hashflare. Every day I see this balance going up. So like tonight it's going to be at 0.015, and obviously I'm accumulating Bitcoin, which is, it's just nice to see. I know this sounds really stupid, but obviously I've been doing this for 2 or 3 months now, and I've just been reinvesting. So I've just seen a balance of zero every day, 0, 0, 0. And then it starts to make you wonder, am I just giving my money away, and am I not doing something right? But then when you start seeing it build up like that, then you think, oh yeah, actually, yes, it's been worth it. You know, I've been reinvesting $15 worth a day. Now I'm within 1 week I've accumulated 150. So to me it makes it seem worth it. So that makes me think, oh, should I reinvest more so that I can start earning like $100 a day in terms of Bitcoin? But obviously for me, I just want to accumulate the coin, so I want to be earning more coin per day. But that's my hashflare account. If you want to get involved with hashflare, there is a link down below in the description. It is a referral link, but if you want to use it, if you're going to use hashflare anyway, you'll be showing BitGlen some love. That's up to you guys. That's entirely up to you. I've been really honest with that in the past, and I've shown you all my accounts and stuff like that. But there is a link down below. Click on that. Buy some mining before they sell out. Their page still says limited stock, but judging by them photos, they're rapidly upgrading, so they're probably going to have more hash power, and hopefully they don't put the prices up. So I'm quite happy with how they're running at the moment and the profit rates that they're running at. I'm definitely going to be accumulating a lot more than I put into it. Just for an example, I've put in 1,650. I've been reinvesting every day, and currently at the current price of Bitcoin, it says by the end of the year I should earn 10,500. That's based on the price of Bitcoin today, which is at just under 11 grand. If that goes up, that will go up as well. So as long as I earn more than sort of $2,000, to me, I've gained my money back and a bit more. Anything above that is just added bonus, really. So we'll see. We will see. Hydrominer. So Hydrominer is a mining ICO, bit like Envion. a lot of people commented to me saying, Glenn, what do you think about hydrominer? Glenn, have you looked into it? Glenn, here's a link to hydrominer. And to be honest, I'm being completely honest, I wish I got involved in it when it was at the ICO stage, when it was sooner. But I didn't, because I didn't know about it, or I didn't take the time to look into it. But essentially, this is very similar to Envion, like so similar. Even some of the images that they have on there, I thought they were taken from Envion's webpage, or Envion could have took it from theirs. Who knows? What I mean by that, let's see if I can. Oh, let's actually go to their webpage. So if I type in hydrominer, let's have a look. They did have. Why do they always make it hard? When I'm doing a YouTube video, things just become all so harder. Watch our video, news. Yeah, this image. So like this image here looks exactly like. So you can see the little containers there. And what they're hoping to do is obviously use the electricity from a hydro power plant to power the mining in these containers beside, which is exactly what Envion are looking at doing. So if we go to Envion's page, these are these containers, but also solar panel and a wind farm. So it looks very, very similar from that aspect. A few things different. The hydrominer ICO is finished. So if you're watching this thinking, oh my God, I want to get involved in that as well, the ICO has finished. But their one was slightly different to Envion. Right, sorry, someone knocked at the door there, so I've lost my train of thought. So hydrominer, so yeah, they're building these containers outside of a water power plant. And obviously they're getting very cheap energy costs. So it sounds very similar to Envion. Actually pretty much identical, but the way that they've structured their ICO and their tokens is dramatically different. So they're going to fill up these containers with GPUs, ASIC miners, which they're getting, I assume, from Bitmain, because they mention a Chinese manufacturer of ASIC miners. And then they mention the AMD graphics cards. They have put a long list in here. The only thing that I would say about this ICO, it doesn't seem like they have a, and I might be completely wrong, someone who's really into hydrominer might be screaming at the screen now. Scalability, it doesn't seem like, they're saying something about 20 containers with the ASIC miners. And then basically how the tokens work is, say if I owned X amount of hydro mining, or H2O they're called, tokens, I can use and redeem those tokens for mining contracts. So a bit like Genesis mining, but obviously you can just use credit card or whatever. You send them Bitcoin, and then they obviously give you a 2-year or a lifetime contract for mining, and then you reap the benefits of whatever they mine within that 2 years. So that, to me, is the same as Genesis mining, but you're getting in at a cheaper rate, which is good, because Genesis mining, you know, it's awesome. And hashflare, it's like getting in with hashflare, you know, early on. The thing is, once you have used those tokens, so say I give them the H2O tokens, and I say, right, I want a 2-year contract mining Ethereum. I think if you want your tokens back at the end of that 2 years, I think you have to buy them back. So it says here, the profit from our mining contracts will be based on kilowatts per hour, with the difficulty in profitability as of October 2017. The performance that one would receive are as follows. So they're saying 1,000 H2O tokens, which, again, from my understanding, this white paper, The sale of their tokens was one H2O token equals 0.01 of Ethereum. So if I go to my Ethereum price or coin value website that I like to use, so if I type in 0.01, that's about 10 US dollars. But saying that, obviously when this white paper was written, Ethereum was probably what, half the price, because they do mention in here potentially Ethereum could go to 500 US dollars, which obviously it's double that now, which is crazy really. You think when they wrote this white paper, they're thinking, oh my god, imagine if Ethereum went up to $500, but now I'm sitting here going, yeah, it's over 1,000 now. So back then, I assume then if you half the price of Ethereum, that would have been obviously about $5. So their tokens worked out about $5 per token, if you like, basing it on history's price of Ethereum. But they're saying 1,000 H2O tokens, which based on our calculations is probably about £5,000 worth. They're saying over 2 years you'd get 5,584, which doesn't seem that good. So I assume obviously the Ethereum prices were lower then, maybe even lower than what I've just estimated. So maybe $4 or $3 US dollars per Ethereum. And then you've got Ethereum mining, which seems more profitable for the same amount of tokens. So they're saying Ethereum's the one to go for. But obviously, I assume since this white paper was written, Bitcoin went up massively in price. I don't know when this was written. I don't know if there's a date. But anyway, oh, it says there October 2017, which ain't that long ago. But who knows? Who knows? So, yeah, my point for this is, one, you have to rebuy back your tokens after the initial 2 years of mining, and they said that for people that join in with the ICO, they can buy the tokens back at the price they paid for it at the ICO. So say I give them 1,000 tokens, they give me a 2-year mining contract. If I say actually I want to buy them tokens back again, instead of, if they're worth like, you know, $20 on CoinMarketCap, instead of paying that per token, which obviously is £20,000 then, they'll say, right, you bought it at the ICO stage, so you get it back for the $5 US that you paid for it. So, which obviously would be a lot more beneficial. My trouble with this, just looking at it, seems to be the scalability. They seem to have their set token and set amount of containers that they're going to build at the set place. Surely that means, so once the people with them tokens redeem them, that they're going to be sold out quite quickly, and then you're going to have to wait 2 years before more become available. I don't know, maybe they had a plan in place for scalability, but from what I've read on this, that doesn't seem to be the case. And then they talk about Bitcoin, what Bitcoin's doing in the market and how it's going to take over the world. Transparency, which is really good actually. They seem very transparent. The video on their homepage is of, I think, 2 sisters or two women. And they talk about, you know, we started mining years ago and we just want to expand it, make it bigger, 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 which is really good. This is sort of like the plan. You've taken part of the sale, you receive your tokens, you register it for the mining, receive mining payouts to web wallet, so you receive your funds, and then exchange H2O vouchers to mining contracts. So we'll see where it goes, I suppose. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this. So this is their use of funds with the money that they raised for the ICO. Hydro power station leasing / electricity, the hardware. So 55% of everyone's money is going to go into the hardware side, which is good because that's what you want. 15% of operation costs, ICO costs, marketing, legal, and then reserve fund 1%. It doesn't seem to say anything about scalability. They're saying about a new power station in October 2017, expansion, new hydropower station in Austria. So I don't know. I don't know if these are going to be different ICO or token sales, or they're just going to build them with the profit from, you know, people like me paying for the mining services. This is their team. Seem like genuine, nice people, especially in the video. That's all I can base them on, really. I haven't read through all their details, to be honest. I will say that the Envion, the Envion white paper was a lot more in depth, and it seemed more professional. If that's true or not, I don't know. The return on investment seems a bit more realistic. They're quoting 60% return on investment with their tokens, whereas Envion are quoting 161%. And in a recent post, they said it could be actually, we believe it to be 180 something. So who's right or wrong, I don't know, because obviously since Hydrominer has written that white paper, you know, Bitcoin, especially from October 2017, so that was before I even got involved. So Bitcoin was probably worth about $5,000 at the time. Now it's worth 11,000, and obviously Ethereum's gone up probably 3 times the price. So maybe their return on investment would be a lot higher now. So I wish I was invested in both, to be honest. I'm not saying one's better than the other. Involved in, especially if you're paying with Ethereum, because, like I say, right now, if that ICO was live, it would cost you $10 worth of Ethereum just to buy one Hydro token. Whereas Envion, you can just buy one token equals $1. So you literally can get involved even with $10 worth. Saying that, obviously it's finished now, so we're going to see obviously what they're worth when they go on hit BTC and hopefully the other exchanges. And that brings me on to my final topic I want to talk about, the price of Envion tokens. So a lot of people on Facebook, the Facebook group, and probably in other places as well, are speculating with what the coin could, or the token, sorry, could be worth one day. Someone posted something on their Facebook group saying, what's everyone's estimates for the Envion token? Oh look, there's that image I wanted earlier. So this is their current process. They're working through everyone with Ethereum tokens, and then unlocking their tokens, and then they'll be transferable. Then they're going to do Bitcoin, and then they're going to do the credit card. So the credit card ones are going to take the longest, which they always said from the beginning. And it says here that the Know Your Customer process, 82% of people have passed already, 11% are in progress, then there's another 7% that have to be manually reviewed. So that's actually, instead of a robot or a software doing it, someone's actually going to have to sit there and check everyone's ID, and they also doing a I do know video or something like that you have to pass. Where's the thing I wanted? Where is it? Where is the... Oh, anyway, just take my word for it. Someone posted on there, what is everyone's predictions for Envion going forward? And people are posting, like, some people are posting sensible ones. Some people saying, I believe it's going to be worth 35 cents. I believe it's going to be worth 70 cents. Some people are saying $2, $3. These are all sensible predictions. But then some people, whether they're doing it for a laugh or if they're being serious, they're putting $50 the first day, $100, $500, $1,000, $1,200. And I sit there and I think, are these people on Earth? And if people really think that that's the sort of return they're going to get, then maybe they need to take a step back, because this is why I wanted to talk about it compared to the other tokens. So this is a top 10 tokens at the minute. So we can only base it on what the market's doing today. We could sit here and say, yeah, but it's going to triple in 2 years' time. And that could be right, and I hope it does. But we'll just base it on today. So today, the most expensive, or the highest market cap token, security, like Ethereum token, is EOS at 8.2 billion. Then we've got Tron, Icon, and all the others. Now, let's say Envion tokens. Obviously, it's a mining service. I believe mining is very in demand at the minute. It's very sought after, very lucrative. Everyone wants to be a part of Bitcoin and Ethereum mining, because obviously they can see the potential later down the line of how much it's going to be worth. So I think that the tokens are going to do well. So let's say that, I don't know, it takes second place. That would give it in between these two figures here. We've got Tron at 4.5 billion and EOS at 8.2 billion. So let's say 5 billion US dollars they're worth. There is, I think Envion actually confirmed the other day, they said, I think it was 135 million tokens are going to be in circulation. But let's we'll base it on 130 million tokens for Envion, and we're gonna. Oh, I should put it in the other way first. Let's do 5 billion. I can use this calculator now because I've put the little dashes in there, so it makes it easier for me. So that's 5 billion. We're going to divide that by 130 million. There we go. So that gives us a total token price of $38 per token. To me, this is a realistic figure of what it could get to one day. So I don't think it's going to go on at that price straight away. I believe it's going to take a little while. So let's base it on even the top end. So let's say they're going to be the most valuable token on the market today. Let's say they're going to be worth 8.5 billion. Let's make sure I get this right. There we go. And we're going to divide that by 130 million tokens. That gives it a price of 65 US dollars, and that would make it the #1 most sought after token on the market. So this should be people's dream figure. You know, this should be like the, oh, I hope one day it's worth $65. People that are quoting 100, 500, 1,000, I think you need to reassess what sort of investment you've got there. So you know, what they're talking about is, let's say 130 million tokens times by 500 gives it 65 billion market cap, which would put it, let's have a look at the top 100 things of all time. That would put it above Ripple. So, which it could be. It could on it. It could do. That's the thing. It could do. And this is why I said doing a video with a prediction. You're always setting yourself up, because unless it goes to exactly the price I say it's gonna, or predict it's gonna go at, then if it goes above, people are gonna say, "Ah, you were wrong in that video," and if it goes below, people say, "Ah, you were wrong in that video." So people that think it's going to be worth $500 per token, that means it's going to be worth more than Ripple, which, you know, is very popular at the moment. But you never know. You never know, I suppose. They could be right, I could be wrong. But to me, if I look at the top 100 tokens, if I was to take a realistic figure, there's a few here, and that's, I mean, Tron is doing pretty well. That's at 4.5 billion. So obviously I'm talking about it overtaking that. Realistically, most of them are at sort of 1 billion. If you look at from sort of fourth place Populous all the way down, they're all almost at the 1 billion, or they're at 1 billion. So realistically, until it has a massive amount of hype, so let's say 1.5 billion, divide that by 130 million tokens, you're looking at $11 per token. So to me, these are realistic figures. I do believe they are worth $10 a token. That's my honest opinion, and that would put it, you know, you're talking in the top 10 tokens of all time straight off. I do think they're worth $10 a token. I think it'll take a little while to get there. I then believe that it could go up to 20, and I think it could go all the way up to sort of $38 per token. And I think, you know, if it was ever at that sort of price, I would probably sell my tokens then anyway. Maybe not. Obviously, if they got that high, I'd probably keep on to them just in case they kept going up. But I just want people to realise when they're saying things like that, what they're actually saying in real world terms. And I don't want people to think, oh my God, I'm going to be a millionaire next week. The chances are you're not. So don't go out and spend the money, you know, beforehand. I would predict that the coins or the tokens, sorry, are going to go on sale, and they're going to potentially hit $2 or $3 for a little while, and then maybe in a few months' time potentially could be up to sort of $10. This brought me on to a conversation that I had. I actually posted pretty much what I just said to you guys in there. I tried to convey in a message on Facebook, in the group chat. I said, you know, I think they're going to be $38 per token after mass adoption. So the most they could ever achieve, I believe, in the current market is about $40 per token. Then someone replied back to me, which I really like actually. I like hearing different views and opinions, and I've always said to you guys, you know, I don't care if you call me out on anything, because it helps me learn, teaches me things. And I don't really want to mention his name because obviously he's commented on this in a private Facebook group. I don't want to plaster his name on my YouTube channel, because I don't want anyone to think that that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to slander him or anything like that, because I really like his feedback. He said, this is a very simplistic view though. Keep in mind that Envion is not a standard token coin that would be based on pretty much nothing but hype, speculation, pumping and dumping. This is a real security asset that is backed by real business. That is why it all takes so long, because it's a valid business, quite distant from other ICOs, which I think he's got a good point here. So what he's saying is a lot of these coins that are in this top 100 are just based on speculation. You know, they're not actually doing anything today. Like, a lot of them have plans in place for the future, and they have roadmaps, and but they're not actually doing anything. People are just buying them, hoping they go up in price, and then selling them. That's it. That's literally all they're worth. And there's a lot of them doing it. Don't get me wrong. There are projects in here that are obviously, you know, coming up with new ideas, new innovative ways of going on the internet, watching porn, advertising. A lot of them are lending tokens, which I don't like. Other ones are internet protocols. So there's loads of technology going on there. But as of today, they're not actually doing anything. We're just buying them in the hope that down the road they're worth something more, like the next Amazon or something like that. Obviously, what he's referring to, a lot of them as well, just go up in price because people are pumping and dumping them. They're buying loads of the coin. Once it hits a certain amount, they set a sell limit on their exchanges, the websites like Binance, Bittrex. They're saying, right, once this coin gets to $15, sell it and then buy it again once it goes down and it hits, you know, $12 and then sell it again when it. And we're seeing this a lot in the market. Coins are just going up, getting to a point, and then they're going back down, and then they're going back up, and then they're going back down. That's my opinion. So I actually agree with that person in that respect. A lot of the coins are based on that, where he's saying Envion actually have something. They're going to say, right, here you go. If you buy our token, next week we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you dividends of the mining, which makes it currently at this point in time probably one of the most profitable tokens to be holding on to. So let's carry on with. That's why all it takes so long, because it's a valid business, blah blah blah. Expected dividends allow us to calculate the price relatively easily. Pretty much the only problem is whether the promised expectation dividends are realistic. So the real question is not really how much of the market cap can Envion reach based on other market caps, but rather how much obviously we get paid out on in dividends, which I think he's made some really good points there, really valid. And what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to sit here and pretty much say that and make it out as if it was all my own idea. He's got some really good points there. It really made me think this morning. So I said, that's true, I agree with you. There are other security tokens out there that pay dividends, so Envion are not unique in that aspect. Their business model is based on mining, which has its own challenges. So obviously, my experiences with hashflare, I have learned over the last couple of months that the price of, or the profit of mining goes up, but it also goes down. So obviously, if the price of the coins go up, you're earning more. If they go down, you're earning less. If the difficulty goes up, you're earning more. If the difficulty goes, if the difficulty goes up, you're earning less. If the difficulty goes down, you're earning more. And then obviously you've got exchange rates and you know, fees for transferring the money from that account to that account. So in that respect, there are, you know, uncertainties in the Envion business plan. And also you got to look at, obviously, in 2 years' time, especially with Bitcoin, the mining rewards are going to be halved. So that means then that this is very lucrative for the next 2 years, and then it will be halved in 2 years' time. But then saying that, Envion are obviously going to cover themselves by mining other coins, so they're going to be mining other things that are not halved, that are more profitable, and then obviously whatever they mine, then pay that to people in Ethereum on that day. So it's got its ups and downs, really. But a lot of people out there think that Envion are the only people doing this. There are other companies out there, and they've got their own coin. And if you own the coin, they're going to make trades for you. Whatever the profit they earn each day, they pay to you in your Ethereum wallet. There's people that are doing advertising, and the money they generate from advertising, you get paid in your Ethereum wallet. So there are loads of other security tokens out there that are paying people dividends each week. So I don't want people to think that Envion are the only people doing this, because then, yeah, that obviously they would have an inherent advantage over everyone else. So I can only base the price on Envion tokens on a current market price, which I think $38 is a realistic target. Over a long period of time, a lot of people are thinking the price will go to 50, 100, 500, 1,000. And in the current market, that's just silly. You're talking about Envion tokens being worth more than Litecoin and Ethereum. That's my opinion. I can't see if Envion tokens being worth anything near where worth, you know, the top 10 or the top 5 at least, or 6, because I think Envion could be worth more than these. I can't see it overtaking Litecoin. I can't see it overtaking Bitcoin Cash, just because so many people know about them companies, and they're so widely adopted, they're so used. whereas obviously Envion, you know, it's not even open to America yet. America have not got it. From what I understand, not a lot of people in Asia have invested in it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're going to find out over the weekend. It's going to be a very exciting weekend, hopefully, with the Envion tokens going on there. I wanted to give my thoughts on it. What do you think? What if you're watching this video? Like I said in my previous videos, I probably get a lot of people that watch my videos that are also investing in Envion, because that's what I started investing in, and obviously they've followed my journey. What do you think the Envion tokens are going to be worth realistically in your mind within the next few months? What are your thoughts? Please comment down below. I'd love to get all your feedback and let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm talking out of my arse, please comment down below. But that's it from me, guys, really. I've talked about quite a lot today. I wish I got in with hydrominer, but I do believe, hand on heart, that Envion seems to be the better prospect at the minute. I don't know if I'm going to get any backlash for saying that, so I'm happy with my investment into Envion, and we're going to see, obviously, once we start receiving these dividends, whether I'm right or not, and also whether the price of it goes up. The tokens for the hydrominer, which are H2O, I believe are going to start being tradable, they say, at the beginning of February. So you're going to have a competition there. You're going to have Envion tokens to buy, or you could have H2O tokens to buy in quite a short period of time. It's not like one come out a year before the other one. You're talking Envion tokens might be available to sell at the end of January, and H2O tokens will be on there sort of beginning of February. So you're talking like a couple of weeks. There's going to be these two tokens that are going to be tradable on the market. So we'll see what happens with them. I might buy some myself and see where they go, see where they head at. But that's my thoughts, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all the support. Oh, before I go, I just wanted to comment. Obviously, I get a lot of YouTube comments, and I've tried to reply back to every single one of you. So thank you for all your feedback. Something I did want to show you, actually. This was quite interesting. And these are the sort of things that I talked about a long time ago that I wouldn't be involved in, and if I was involved in any sort of coin or token, that I would tell you guys, and I'd be honest anyway. So I got a message from Gawura Chand. He said, "Hello, my name is Glen." That's convenient, so is mine. Hansen, so nothing like the name at the top. From Litecoin. We are contacting you because we have taken a notice of your channel, and we would like to offer you a unique opportunity. We're extending this offer to only a small group of YouTubers. Keeping it simple is our plan. At the time, if you have any questions, feel free to reply back a message on the chat. You go to our site lendexcoin.co. The chat is located on the homepage. We're offering you 3,000 Lendex coins to help us spread the word for the new up-and-coming ICO. If you can simply make at least 2 videos per week until the ICO ends, we will deposit 3,000 coins directly into your account. As a promoter, what we are asking you is that if you create videos showing your viewers how our site works and how to prepare for the up-and-coming ICO deposit in BTC and Ethereum, sign up, grab the affiliate link yourself, reply back to this email for more, and then click read more. So I thought this was quite interesting, actually, because it makes me wonder if like BitConnect did this a long time ago, because you had quite a lot of YouTubers talking about it. It'd be quite easy for them to message, you know, a lot of YouTubers and say, look, we'll give you free tokens if you talk about how easy it is with our website. And obviously there's these other lender coin sites coming up now. I've been messaged by one. They've offered me, if I advertise twice a week, their token or their coin, which it's very, very likely it's a scam, that they will pay me a commission for doing that. Obviously, I'm not going to do that for you guys. Let's delete this comment. But I just thought it was interesting, actually, because I thought, I wonder how many YouTubers would either fall for that or would happily go along with it, because it would be very easy for me to do a video and say, hey guys, I found this new website called Litecoin, and what they do is they pay you 100% of this, this and this. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And obviously if you've got trust with your audience, they might watch that and think, oh, Glenn's doing it, oh yeah, I might deposit, oh yeah, I'll use his link. And then that YouTuber's earning money from that, they're getting paid by the company. If the company are paying out profit on what if the company are paying profit out, obviously they're earning profit from that way as well. So you're actually gaining quite a bit of profit just for doing it and showing it as as you're doing it. That's not something I'm going to be doing on this channel. It's not saying that I want to promote. You guys have really helped me out, and I wouldn't do anything where I thought I was leading you down a garden path into a scam. Anything that I do could end up being a scam. Envion could be a scam. Hashflare could end up being a scam. And you guys might say, Glenn, we invested in that because we watched your videos. And I've always said to people, only invest what you're willing to lose, what you're willing to wake up and say that you haven't got one day. And do your own research. And people that message me as well, they're like, Glenn, do you think I should put £1,000 into hashflare? And I say, look at all your bills, look at what you can and can't afford, and what you think is the best investment, what's going to get you the best return, and make your own decision. I've never led anyone down a path, and I'm going to continue to do that. So I just wanted to reassure you guys, I suppose, because there are a lot of YouTubers out there that are doing that sort of thing, and they're making good money off it, and that's the thing. I'm shooting myself in the foot because I could earn money doing that, which would make my wife happy. But it's not something I want to do. I want to build this community on YouTube and have it as a long-lasting community. It's not saying, I'm going to be doing this for 6 months and then earn some money and then fuck off. I want a community of people that I can refer back to in 2 years' time and say, here, Anton, yeah, do you remember when you first recommended this to me? Yeah, that was really funny because I didn't know what I was doing then. Now I'm doing this, this and this. Or Luda or Tyrone, Friendly Pharmacist, and sorry if I'm not mentioning all your names, but these are people that regularly comment on my video. A gentleman the other day on my taxation video, a UK tax video, I can't find it now, just my luck. He commented on my tax video, and he was correcting me on some things, which I thought brilliant because, I done that tax video. Not saying, I never once said I'm an expert with tax and I know what I'm doing, because I'm not in any way, shape or form. I was just giving my opinion on what I thought the current tax situation is. And I'm going to find it in a second. It's going to annoy me if I don't. Here we go, Steve Livington. He sent me a comment, and it was quite a long comment, saying, actually, you are supposed to declare if you make profit from one token and then you can buy a lot more tokens or coins from another, you've actually gained capital gain, so you have to declare that. That's not how I read it, but he seems quite confident in it that that's the way it should be. And he said go to his steemit.com/crypto at Steve Livington, crypto taxation dilemma facing tax authorities. So use that link, go to that video if you're not too sure and you want to get a second opinion. I always think that's really good. If I'm about to invest in anything or actually give anyone any money or trust someone, this is what I always do. I always go to YouTube, normally information, and I always type in, let's say for example, is